Peter McDevitt seconds in motion.
Thank you, Peter. All those in favor?
Peter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, Brian, you're up.
You're on mute, buddy.
You're still muted, Brian.
There you go.
We're now live. Public Finance meeting for Washington County to order.
You want me to take it away now? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Thank you, and thank you for making time for us again. I know we just met back at the beginning of this month, that COVID time feels like a long time ago, but we do appreciate your time coming back together. We don't anticipate needing a full hour, and I'm going to turn it over to
Anne Marie in just a minute, but I did want to take this opportunity to share
where we are with our
fall restart planning.
Of course, I've been busy making plans for the fall. One of the steps that we needed to accomplish was to submit a plan that's
kind of high level at this point, but across all types of parts of the institution,
a lot about our health and safety
planning and how we intend to deliver instruction for the fall.
We submitted that a week ago, and the governor has designated the authority to SUNY to approve all of the SUNY campus plans. So we did receive word late last night that our plan was approved,
which is really great news, which means that we can now more publicly pronounce our plan. So
although we still have a lot of details to work out, at least our overall framework was approved. I see Vice President Jablonski here on the call today. He's working very expeditiously with all of our faculty to make our final plans for individual courses for the fall. But at a high level, just so you know, we're preparing remote environment as well as small in-person classes, particularly those that require more of a hands-on approach. So things like nursing and culinary arts and some of our technical programs. The faculty are putting together their plans on how to bring students on campus for small instructional labs. We'll have a mix of what's traditionally online, which is what we call an asynchronous model, meaning that students can log on to the class on their time. And then we will also have courses that are on more of a synchronous model through remote technology, similar to Zoom or other platforms as needed, so that students are attending class at a designated time, just like they would in person. And depending on the need to meet learning outcomes, some of those students may come in on alternating schedules in smaller classes. It will be a mixed environment for instruction, which we think is the best option that we have to keep our campus community and our community safe. And so all those plans will be ready, we believe, by July 21st to be released to our student population so that they can make their final decisions about registration. Things are moving along. We also expect to have housing open at 50% capacity, which would allow for single bedrooms and bathrooms, which has been standard recommendation from health officials. So we're making our plans in that area and continuing to develop all of the physical space needs that we have and the safety protocols in time for the fall semester, which will start on September 9th, which is our traditional start date. Wanted to let you know that. Also, we got some good news this week that we had submitted a proposal to create a program called Journey Worker Technical Trades Management. This is a unique opportunity, and it really stemmed from a lot of conversation with the local plumbers and steam fitters union to create a pathway for those who complete a journeyman program, who may be looking for extending their education
into an associate degree, particularly in business management, recognizing that many people that go into the trades also may be starting their own business. So we've combined and allowed for in this program to grant up to 30 college credits for their journey worker experience. Recognizing that as rigorous work that warrants academic credit, and then the student would only need to complete an
credits to earn this technical trades management degree. And we just received approval of that this month or this week. So we'll be launching that for the fall semester, which we think will be a great benefit, not only to the Plumbers and Steamfitters Union, but anyone in the technical trades that qualifies. So it not only could help our local community, but really anyone in the nation, because we do have online courses in those areas, could complete that degree with us. So we're very excited to be able to extend even more diverse curriculum in support of workforce development. So I wanted to share that bit of good news with you today. Other than that, we're continually moving forward, of course, on our fall planning. Summer enrollment has been picking up, which has been great to see. Our second summer session starts next Monday. And we're seeing a good trend of, even though a few less students by head count, but those students are taking more credits, which is helpful to the students, of course, as well as to us. So we're pleased to see a trend that's moving in a positive direction. Fall enrollment is sort of at a standstill. Many students are delaying their decisions until we can more clearly identify for them specific courses and how they're being delivered. So we anticipate that as soon as that can be published, that we will see a tremendous amount of activity in our fall enrollment. So with that, unless you have any questions about what I just presented or any other general college questions, and I'll stop there in case there are. Okay, hearing none, then I'm going to turn it over to Vice President Anne-Marie Scheidegger, who will walk you through where we are with the budget process. Anne-Marie?
Sure, thank you, Dr. Duffy. Good morning, everyone. Unfortunately, we don't have any more information regarding the college's budget and our funding sources than we had the last time we spoke with you. We were hoping to have received some additional information, but we haven't. Those items, as a reminder, that are still kind of up in the air for us include state aid, the amount that we're going to be cut in state aid. We do have a dollar amount per FTE that was agreed upon for the budget, but we have been told that it will be reduced in the future, and we just don't know what that reduction is yet. The other thing that's not included in our budget is the Federal CARES Act funding and how we're going to be spending that. So we're waiting for some information. We just got, I have a call actually later this afternoon to talk about how we're allowed to spend that money and what it can fund. And so once we know those items, we'll be able to make those adjustments. But at this time, we don't have any new information. So we're asking that you move forward the budget that we reviewed with you at the last meeting. Is there any portion of that that you'd like me to review in detail?
Anne-Marie, I think you basically have to reiterate, I believe it's the 2% that we're at. And I think you probably want to reiterate what that is to each county and, you know, just a short synopsis so everybody knows what we're actually talking about.
Sure, give me 1 second and I'm going to pull up a slide that I might be able to share with you. Okay, I have it here. So the budget,
if we could get a copy of that emailed to us. It may have, and I just missed it.
We can send it again, yes.
Thank you.
So we are asking our sponsors for a 2% increase in their sponsor share. For Warren County, that is a $41,000 increase. For Washington County, it is a $30,000 increase. The total sponsor share increase budget to budget is $71,360. As a reminder, that increase is split based on your prior fall's FTE. Brian, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think everybody just needed that clarified, that's all.
No, I appreciate it, thank you. I should have said that from the start.
Claudia, I just emailed you the budget book that we included in the information, I think, but if not, and we can make sure that goes back out to everyone if there's
Thank you so much.
specific questions.
I was wondering if Anne Marie can tell us where we sit in relation to some of the other counties. I know we're usually behind. So are other counties, are they holding steady? Are they decreasing budgets? What are they doing in this time frame?
So I only know from, my peers' conversations, we're all going through this process basically at the same time, the month of July. So everyone is having these conversations. As far as total sponsor contribution, we're still lagging behind our peers pretty severely. But as far as the percent increase for budget to budget, I think we're right on par with everyone else. I'm not sure if Dr. Duffy's heard anything differently. And if that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, some are holding flat. As a reminder, if counties reduce their funding to the community college, they're not maintaining their maintenance of effort requirement by state ed regulations, which then puts the college in a significant challenge. So I don't think any county will be reducing their sponsorship because of that fact, but I don't know that for sure. As Anne Marie said, the conversations are really happening right now, and but I don't think anyone is cutting. And if they do, it does have an even more devastating effect on the college than we're already in. So
I think we're kind of in an interesting position here. It's two counties working to take care of or to sponsor a college. What's utmost importance is our own college, not basically what other colleges are doing, but ours is very important to our area. And I think it's very important that we help to maintain and take care of our college and the essence of the situation we're in. At this point, as supervisors, we're not really, I guess, in a position to where we tell the college what to do. I think they've done a very good job and know exactly what they're doing, and are looking in all the right places. And it's just our job to see if we can still fund at the same rate and under the 2% cap. It's been 2% in the past, and I'm willing to see through it that we can get 2% to them here now. So I guess that's where I'm at. And I think what we really are here for today is just to set the public hearing and move this to the full board. And I think that I'm ready to go ahead and move that if I have a motion from my committee to make all of those things happen. I assume there's either one or two resolutions that you guys have. So I'll let you go with those unless somebody's got other questions.
Supervisor McGowan.
Thank you. Good morning, all. This is sure interesting. I've been following along and listening to this, and with the economics that are going to be really hitting this country all over. I have some really major concerns coming forward, and I know you're asking for what another increase of say 75,000, but yet still we really don't know what the state's going to do. And I'm just concerned because it's not a whole lot of money, but then on the other hand too, it is. And Dr. Duffy and Ann, I know you're all doing a great job, but for everybody else, I really, till we really know, I hate to commit, to more, and maybe that's just my feeling. I don't know. Just being a business owner for so long, I know the ups and downs, and I know you guys have tried to shave everything down to the minimum. I'm just, scared of what's happening in the future, and I don't want, the counties and the college to, suffer altogether. So I just wanted to say that I'm just really concerned with what's coming up on the road. And I know last year in budgeting time, I know for Warren County, we wanted to transfer some more, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that, not knowing what was coming down the pike. And I'm kind of glad we held back transferring more than we had to get through these terrible times. So I just needed to state this. So thank you all for your time, and really, Dr. Duffy and Ann, really appreciate all you're doing.
Thank you.
Supervisor Beatty?
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm chairman of the Shared Services Committee, and we've been going around to department heads trying to find ways to consolidate, to merge, to cut costs. In May alone, we were over $1 million short in sales tax revenue. And as much as I'm a huge supporter of SUNY Adirondack, I can't, in good conscience, ask all our department heads and Warren County employees to find ways to cut back significantly and then fund SUNY Adirondack in additional dollars. I just can't do that. My conscience won't let me say, hey, you guys all gotta do this, but in this side, this hand, I'm gonna give you guys more money. So I'm gonna be against the budget. I'll be honest with you, Dr. Dovey. It's nothing against you and your staff and the great job you're doing by any means. I was a big supporter of MSTEM and those additional dollars, but I can't in these times see fit to increase anyone's funding, whether it's for SUNY Adirondack or for roads or for any other project or entity. So I'm going to be against it, but it's nothing against you and the job that you and your staff have done. It's just the reality of the financial times we're in. And I think I'd be remiss, and if I went to the taxpayers and said, oh, by the way, you got to cough up more money for this, but I want you all to cut back on this. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to be against it. But I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm going to have to say no. Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Duffy, with the uncertainty about the numbers, is there a possibility to not take a vote today to move it forward?
There's a process for our budget that requires us to submit a budget to SUNY by August in order to have a budget in place for the fall, which is our fiscal year. So we extended that into this meeting, hoping that we would have more information, but we feel at this point we need to keep moving the process forward, because now we're in a position of, you would have a public hearing in July and then the budget being voted on in August, then puts us right at the very last timeline that we have to submit the budget in time for the fall. So, to answer your question, we feel like this is the best we have right now. But I'll ask Anne-Marie if she wants to weigh in differently on that.
Thank you, Dr. Duffy. I really don't have anything additional other than to say, there is an opportunity at a later date to bring a revised budget forward if we needed to. We could do that, but what's really imperative today is that we have a budget to move forward with. If we don't, it will have some pretty severe consequences about just being able to start the year with an approved budget. So if for some reason, there wasn't support for the budget that we've brought forward today, I would ask us to support it if we could, and then look to revise it, have an agreement to revise it at a later date, as early as the end of August or beginning of September.
Anne-Marie?
Brian, I'm going to ask for a motion out of Higher Education in Warren County to adopt the budget as proposed.
I'll second that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear who made the motion.
Mr. McDevitt will make the motion.
Okay. I will second it. Any further discussion? Supervisor Sieber, I think I hear you.
Thank you. Is our budget, I'm not sure if our budget officer is on the call or not, and I think that's a critical part to Warren County in asking what we're looking at moving forward. I'm, as many of you know, a very strong supporter of higher education. I am concerned, though, that we're continuing to go back to every single one of our departments and ask for a cut. And yet we're going to need to explain to all those departments and to our taxpayers why we're looking at a 2% increase. You know, I think for us, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, it comes to around 70,000, or is it 65, 70,000? Our
No,
2%?
no. Anne Marie can.
40,000 for us.
41.
41,000.
41,000.
Is there, I mean, to me, we're looking at shaving 41,000 in just a few budgets, you know, department budgets. I guess I really would like a better understanding of how that 41,000 can't be, you know, found elsewhere or cut in other departments within the college. But I do think we have a tough task in front of us, because I would imagine Washington County's in the same boat. I mean, we're looking everywhere to make sure that we are able to get into next year. And it's really 2021 that we're starting to look at the issues. Like I said, big supporter of higher education, but every year we continue to increase our sponsor match. And we've never said no. You know, we're continuing to support initiatives, so much as so Chairman Thomas has initiated a reserve fund, you know, which was something that we looked at doing for years and years and couldn't do. So I think we've shown our commitment, but I am concerned about the message it's sending when we're working really hard to decrease our budget across the board.
I'd like to tie this back, if I could, just for a minute here.
So we're
up against
their
their
deadlines
for setting a public hearing
and for setting the date that we actually vote on the budget. But where we need to get is to that August date to vote on the budget. By then, we should have a lot more information. So at this point, we're just setting a public hearing. We're setting this budget. And if at the August, it'll be our big board meetings in August. If we have very detrimental information, or if we have actually good information, we can amend it at that time. But I think the timeline is what's important today. At this juncture, we think that things are trending a little bit better, and the 2% is probably doable. That's on the Washington County side. I don't know Warren County side, and I am looking forward to a discussion with Mr. Garrity here in the near future. So I think that if we can just get the public hearing set so we're not slowing down the process, we can decide if something goes south before that August meeting, we can amend what that budget number is. But I think right today, we have to make sure the public hearing's set and we get to that August meeting. Because you're right, there's too many unknowns right today, but we can't change the timeline. The timeline is what is the significant part today.
If it's okay, I just want to respond to make sure that, because I appreciate Supervisors Sieber and Beatty and McGowan and your concerns. We are living them as well. We have cut nearly $2 million of expenses, equates to about $1.5 million net. We've combed every single department. We've eliminated almost every discretionary item that we can, and we're now in the process of negotiating with our labor unions on other actions to take. So I just want to make sure you know that we are doing everything on our end to ensure that our budget is as bare bones as possible, which is not sustainable, but it's a short-term, action. But we also, same thing, we're looking long-term. The people that will be impacted the most in terms of an increase are going to once again be students. And that happens every time that, that three-legged stool of the state, our sponsors and students are major funding sources. And with the state aid reduction and with less county contribution, where it ends up falling is on the backs of students. So, I just, want to point some of those things out as you consider your contribution.
Thank you, Dr. Duffy. I agree with the concerns about trying to cut the budget. I just also think that in this time frame of possible economic downturn, at least for a little bit, our residents may be turning to go back to school. So I don't think it's a time for us to not support the college in its budget when you were already talking about how you've reduced your expenses by $2 million. So it's not like you're sitting there trying to puff up the budget. Yes, Supervisor Dickinson.
I always find this interesting. This is a big part of our job, to separate each department and each entity in our budget and do the best we can with each individually, whether we raise them or lower them and keep them the same. I think the point is here at this time, we need to have faith in the school, ACC. We need to realize that what they've done, and we need to appreciate that, and we need to pass this budget and move this on.
All right, with that, if I don't see anybody else on higher ed, I'm going to call for the vote. If you're in favor, please say aye and raise your hand. Aye. And opposed? Okay, Amanda, help me, but I think that carries.
I did not see any opposed.
Okay, thank you. That passes.
Was there anyone opposed? Just to double check, anyone from Warren County opposed to that on economic growth?
This is just higher education, right? We haven't gone to finance yet.
No, this is just the economic growth vote.
Yeah, okay.
And I would like to call a vote for, or a motion for the Washington County. Is there someone that will do a motion? Yes, Jim? Are you creating a motion? You're doing a motion?
I motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, any discussion from the Washington County supervisors? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any opposed? Okay, one opposed. So it passes. Thank you, everybody.
Just Amanda, before we go to finance, sorry, Edna, are there any comments in the public chat? Is that happening? Is Dawn on?
I don't see him. Hold on, I can go check while we're waiting for finance.
Would you like me to go to Washington County Finance at this point? Well, we were waiting. Okay, Washington County Finance,
take a motion to move this for the full board.
Motion by Sue Clary. Do I have a second? Dave O'Brien. Is there any other discussion? Matt Hicks?
No, Brian, we just moved the motion to set a public hearing through the Higher Education Committee to the full board. Technically, I'm not sure why finance would weigh in on this until we actually make a motion to pass the budget. Can it just go from ACC right to the full board to set the public hearing?
It's just the way we've done it. I don't know that it needs to happen that way, but it's the way we've done it. So we try to keep with the same thing until we decide that we're going to do different, I guess.
All right, I'll buy that.
So is there any more discussion?
Brian, I'm
Rachel was
not
going to
talking
talk
to
to me. Washington County, so we'll have to wait.
Rachel, you're not on Washington.
Sorry, I thought you already voted. I'll travel over to you guys.
All in favor on Washington County side, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there anyone opposed? That motion's carried, and we'll go back to Warren County.
Okay, would someone like to make the motion for Warren County Finance to move this forward? Someone like to make that motion?
I'll make the motion. This is Peter.
Thank you, Peter. Would someone like to make a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
All right, and who is that? I'm sorry.
Matt Simpson.
Okay, thanks, Matt. All right, any discussion? Rachel, I saw your hand before. Did you have something you wanted to bring up?
Thanks. I know I'm not on finance either. I keep trying to jump on everyone else's committees.
Oh, okay.
But no, I do have a quick comment. Chris, I know you said you'd email that out to Claudia, but as we start to prepare for the public hearing, it would be really helpful for me to take a look at that if we could just send it to the entire board. because I think what Brian brings up is really important. We're going to have a lot of questions to answer to the public, to department heads as we look at budgets and talk with our budget officer. But I think that material would be very helpful, even if you had like a checklist or a fact sheet that was just more of like answers and questions as we talk about the different increases and different budgets that we're looking at. So that would be very helpful if you don't mind.
All right, Claudia.
Thank you. Thanks, Edna. The other thing I wanted to ask for is if we do get guidance from the state, just please send us an email. I mean, there's always stuff coming out and it's like a whirlwind. So if you could, when you get it, like summarize it and send it out to us so we have a heads up on what's happening. Thank you.
Of course, we will let you know as soon as we know for sure. And Rachel, we did provide the budget book to both counties. So we'll make sure that that gets to you again, but yep, that's, and if what we presented to you isn't as helpful, to your point, if there's some, additional information that we can provide, we're happy to do that. So take a look and then let us know if there's additional information.
Yeah, I think that's just what I was referencing as something that's a little more condensed, but I'll email you about it, Chris. So that
right, any more discussion by Warren County members regarding this? All right, well then let's take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
I don't oppose. John Strow. I'm a trustee for the college, so I'm going to recuse.
All right, thank you, John. And Doug, you're opposed?
Correct. Yep.
All right, thank
Edna,
you.
were there any comments? Any public comments before
we Amanda?
No.
Amanda?
There are no public comments.
Thank you for checking.
Okay, thank you all.
Okay, is that it for us for higher education?
Or do we have more that we want to discuss at this point?
We don't have anything further to add, but we appreciate, the conversation. And again, we'll send out the budget information, and please let us know if there's a simpler way to present it for you to help you in the discussions you have going forward. So thank you. We appreciate your time.
Okay, Washington County Finance stands adjourned.
All right, Warren County's finance stands adjourned.
And higher education is adjourned for Warren County. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Washington County higher education.
Thanks, everyone.
Jesse Fedler was a no.
The recording has stopped.